Welcome everyone to the Knick-Knack Review. I am Clint the Knick-Knack, and we are going to talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let's get started. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier actually follow the lives of Sam and Bucky a few months after Endgame. And it basically follows Sam where he's trying to figure out whether or not he actually wants to become Captain America. And I actually like that because you see him struggling. You know, most of us would think, oh boy, I want to be a superhero. But no, I mean, it comes with a lot of responsibilities. It comes with a lot of, heartache, maybe a lot of loneliness at times, and you don't hear about those things. And I really like that that Captain America put such a weight and set such a standard for Sam to follow that it's actually like, I'm not sure if I want to do this or not, and it really brings the humanity out in Sam, and I really appreciated that. And as far as what they did with Bucky, they also brought a humanity out in him as well, because they didn't ignore anything he did as the Winter Soldier. He's basically coming to terms with everything he did. He's not saying, oh, it wasn't me. He's actually saying, okay, you know what? I made amends. And the government actually pardoned him. I thought that was a neat little detail that they didn't even pass because they didn't have to say that. But they actually, that he wants to right the wrongs that he did, whether or not he was under, some kind of influence or whatever. He actually did those things physically, and he's trying to right those wrongs. And I really like how what they're doing with his character. They're really fleshing out both, and it's bringing a realistic vibe to Marvel that basically Captain America: The Winter Soldier introduced, but this show is further along, like really hitting it home. It's not like you don't see anything fantasy-ish. Now let's talk about the special effects. I have to say, I was really impressed with WandaVision and what they did, but Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I wasn't really sure exactly how much special effects would actually be brought in to this show, considering how grounded it is. But the fight scenes, the choreography, the scenes with Falcon actually flying through the canyon, I really enjoyed that because it reminded me of Man of Steel where Superman's flying through the canyon and he's really discovering it for the first time. That is such a great scene because you see the enjoyment, the excitement. Whereas Sam, it's all business. He's not really discovering his flight, but he's actually, you see that professionalism. You see like, I know what I'm doing, and his skill. And I love that. And I love how whenever he was fighting in the helicopter, that you notice the difference of fighting skills because he did not fight like Cap. He did not fight like Bucky. He fought like Sam. He fought like Falcon. And there's really a big difference. And you see the humanity in Sam because he's not landing maybe every single blow. He's not, accurate in every single thing, but he's got humanity. And that's what I love what they're doing with the character. I think it's really neat how they bring that aspect to Red Wing. They're almost going to give him somewhat of a character. And I want to see more of that because since he's not a real bird, I really want to see if they're going to do anything with him. One thing I'm anxious to see is that are they going to show Sam, once he has the shield, if he's going to actually try to be Cap, is he going to struggle or is he going to get it right away? I'd love to see him struggle a little bit because I like when heroes struggle. It brings that sense of realism. It brings that sense of, oh, wow, they had to earn what they had. And I really like that idea. I like that with any superhero. And it's going to be interesting to see what develops as the series goes along. Now with Bucky, it's a different story. You have two completely different characters. Whereas Sam, struggling whether or not he wants to be Cap, dealing with some of the real life issues, family coming back after 5 years being away. It's almost a new world to him, but not completely. Bucky, on the other hand, I mean, he's gone under ice a few times, and he's used to kind of like waking up in a new timeline. So this is kind of technically nothing different, but it's a different experience. I love what they're doing with Bucky, how they bring that sense of realism to the character. Sebastian Stan does an excellent job at portraying this character, and he always brings something, even though it's the same struggle, I feel like he brings a fresh new take to that struggle. Now it's counseling or maybe the next episode will be something else, but it's a way of how to cope with what he's been through, what he did. He's not denying it. He's embracing it. He's saying, I did it, I'm sorry. And I love how they kind of made it a little bit comedic where they actually had him, he did a mission and then he actually had to say something afterwards. There's step 1, step 2, step 3. And I love how they did that. I just thought it was a little bit of comedy. I like comedy. I don't want this to be too much of a comedy. But I really enjoyed the serious tone that it had. Granted, it is the Marvel Universe. I do expect some comedy from here and there. So it's going to be really interesting to see when these two characters come back together, because technically the first episode, they didn't see each other at all. They acknowledge that Bucky has been ignoring Sam's text, and, maybe that's a good reason. They'll, of course, flesh it out later, but it'll be interesting to see when these two characters come together, what's their interaction like, and I'm really anxious to see that. As far as the villains in this story, I don't even remember the name of the villains. Now, there's one scene in Falcon and the Winter Soldier that I really enjoyed. It was basically a flashback. You didn't know it at the time or at least I didn't, that they show Bucky as the Winter Soldier basically on a mission. And you got to see that Winter Soldier ruthless aggression. And I really, really enjoyed that in the Winter Soldier whenever it first came out. And you got to see him on a mission of the past that actually ties into the present. He kills this guy at wrong place, wrong time. At least that's what the government told his father. And he kills this guy, and then come to find out, he's basically best friends with the guy's dad. And you can see that regret, that just like, yeah, I did something, and I'm not going to tell you about it, but I'm trying to make amends, but I'm not going to tell you why. Yeah. Now, later on in the episode, you see Sam's colleague that he was talking to earlier in the episode go on his mission to basically infiltrate this group. And he was kind of like confused. He's like, what do we do now? It's like this group that comes together through a social media, and then they do like this huge event. Well, come to find out, it's an actual robbery. And this one guy comes, he runs in, and has a duffel bag, and he gives everyone masks, and he's like, what do we do? Boom, all of a sudden there's an explosion from the upstairs window. 2 bags come sailing down. Here comes this guy, Flag Smasher. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not really familiar with this character, but it seems very, very interesting. And it seems like this character actually has, would you say, superhuman abilities, powers, if you will, maybe as strong as Cap or something like that. And basically punches this guy and then steps on his head. Doesn't kill him, but knocks him the heck out. How could I forget Don Cheadle? Love the fact that he's in the show. I actually didn't look up anything that told me who was actually in the show, so that was a nice little surprise. I always thought he brought a realism factor to Iron Man in general, so that was really cool. And I love War Machine. I love Rhodey. I always did enjoy that character in the comic books, but I love the fact that he was in there talking with Sam, kind of like being a friend, like any friend would, and just being there for him. And I really hope they actually include him more in the series and flesh out his character even more, because I think he deserves. And I hear he's supposed to be in Armor Wars. I just don't know how true that is. I haven't really looked into it, but that's what I hear anyway. Now, finally, at the end of the episode, Sam is watching TV and he turns on the news, and it looks like the government's saying, you know what? Cap is gone. They say he's gone. We don't know how. They don't explain how. Cap is gone, so we need a new Captain America since he's gone. We need that symbol. We need that hope and all that stuff. And they basically introduced a new Captain America. Yeah. Ooh. This guy looks like the old man from Up. Just saying. Nope. Yep. I am familiar with the U.S. agent. I really feel like that's him. There was no introduction. There was no name. They just said the new Captain America. So I really feel like this is going to be a love-hate thing. I really feel like this guy doesn't look like Cap, so everybody's going to say, ew. But at the same time, I really feel like if he has the same powers, he's going to be a tool rather than a hero. So that's going to be the struggle for a lot of people. I think he may be considered a hero originally, but he's not. He's going to be definitely a weapon, more like Bucky, just a little sweeter. I actually like the U.S. agent. I like how he's a little bit of yin and yang to Captain America. You have a good Cap, bad Cap type of thing versus each other. Let's fight. I did like him. I am interested to see where they're going to go with this. Obviously, they're going to have this way of saying, hey, this is the new Captain America. But this isn't your daddy's Captain America. This is ours. You just wait. All in all, I really enjoyed the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was a great start. You got to see basically what we already knew of the characters, what they can do, but you got to see them fleshed out. And I really enjoyed that. I'm anxious to see where they go with this, what other real-life struggles you can give them, but also basically both of them getting into the real world. Bucky even goes on a date. And we're like, what? Bucky goes on a date, the Winter Soldier? Holy crap. I'm really anxious to see where they're going to go with this. whether it's going to tie into anything. I know WandaVision ends up tying into Doctor Strange too, so where this is going to go. And also I heard that the timeline issue is that WandaVision was actually supposed to be after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but now it's before. So therefore, I don't know if that's going to affect the timeline as far as scheduling, as far as what comes out next. So I think Marvel is doing a really good job. They did a phenomenal job with the movies. I have nothing but faith when it comes to the TV series, and it looks like they know what they're doing. They really delivered well on WandaVision. If you want to see me do a review on that, please let me know. All in all, I thought it was a great start to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I can't wait to see the next episode. If you like what you've seen here, please don't forget to like and comment below, and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. But this is Clint the Knick-Knack signing off, and I will see you next time.